Subcategories are really the bread and butter of understanding the Amazon e-commerce market space. While most brands are either trying to expand their product line or drive more traffic to their current listings, the goal is always to capture more market share from your competitors. In order to capture more market share, you first need to know exactly who you're taking that market share away from, and what their strategy is so that you can outmaneuver them. That's exactly where subcategories come in handy. SmartScout's Subcategories feature breaks down more than 20 major categories and more than 4,300 subcategories in Amazon. At the power of your fingertips, you'll have access to a lot of the key metrics, such as seller revenue share versus Amazon revenue share, as well as the number of brands, average number of sellers, average price, number of units sold, and other key metrics. Let's start by looking at the top 20 major categories. For our example, we will look up clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Notice this little number here? That's the amount of subcategories that fall underneath this major category. From here, you can find what type of subcategory that you want to categorize your product within. If you already have a category in mind, you can type it in here and it will automatically pull up all of the different subcategory endpoints. Let's do a quick example. If you type backpack, your subcategories are backpacking boots, fashion backpacks, backpacking boots again, backpacks here, and you can see that they all fall into a bunch of different subcategory nodes. There are three main takeaways that you can use from each category. You can see the top competing brands, the top competing products, and you can compare how this category has done over the last 2 years. You may want to note that the market share is broken down based on the monthly revenue estimate and not necessarily under the number of units sold. In this example, you'll see that under women's fashion backpacks and handbags, this is the #1 brand, and it has this much of the market share. Now you have the power to understand who your competition is within Amazon and what their specific strategy is. From here, you can take a deep dive into the brand with the exact same dashboard that you'd see if you were looking at the brands tool. Or you can check out the top selling products for this specific subcategory. Here you can see the top selling brand and that they own a majority of the market share. In this section, we can see the top selling product and roughly how many units they are selling every single month and at what cost. You can also break the product down into child ASINs so that you can see the child's rating over here. Also, if it is a child ASIN, you'll see that they obviously have variations. This is very common for backpacks. If you want to look into the product information, you can click the little search button on the left-hand side of the ASIN and see the exact view that you would see in either the brands or products tools. Now, you can finally start to see how all of our information eventually interconnects. Understanding the category and subcategory landscape, what brands you're competing against, what products you're competing against, and being able to identify the holes in the market are all essential if you're going to stay one step ahead of your competition and capture that market share. Another way to look at a specific subcategory is by its products. If you look over here on the right, you can see that this product has a lot of unit sales, which means that it's in very high demand. It also has a very well optimized product page score. If you scroll down a bit, you can see a product that has a much lower score, which means that the listing isn't put together nearly as well. But you can still see that it sells a decent amount of units every month. What this means is that if you can create something similar to this and optimize the listing just a little bit better, you will be able to capture more of their market share. Now, if you are using the Scope add-on, which is an enterprise feature, you'll be able to inspect this specific subcategory and see exactly how it has performed over the last 2 years. If you analyze this like a stock you want to buy, then you'll know you don't want to look at the current price. You'll want to look at how it's competed over the last 6 months to a year and make your decision then. Ask yourself questions like, is it growing? Is it stable? We'll never know unless we check it out. Looking at this specific subcategory, you can see right here that there was a spike in overall unit estimates during December. I'm assuming that this has a bit to do with Christmas. You can also see the estimated sale per brand and can select or deselect whichever ones you want to see, as well as if you wanted to look at the market share breakup. We'll get into a little bit more of this information in the Scope overview. Remember, If you're trying to capture more market share, it means that you're taking it away from somebody else. Because of this, it's essential to know exactly who they are and what their strategy is. Seeing the other team's playbook will always make it way easier for you to win the game.